I am Dr. Rosie Main. For those of you that are new, and I see some new faces today, I'm thankful that you guys made it. So hopefully one of our patients drug you in here, trying to help you live to your potential. And you guys know, if you're a patient of mine, our mission is to help seek and save that which is lost, and that's our kind of our theme here. We always try to tell our patients, you know, who else, where else do we need to be at, whether it be at a church or at a workplace, small groups. We're always trying to go educate. So if you do have a place you want us to be, just let us know, because there's people seeking answers, and more than ever, people are not living to their potential. So this class is about longevity. And most of you know my dad just passed on 2 weeks ago. And so this is, you know, one of those classes that hits home for me, because we'll show you a video here, and I'll talk a little bit more about him right now. But he lived a really good life, don't get me wrong, but the last part of his life, just like my mom and my sister, were sick, suffering, and not living to their full potential. So their body's tired way before their spirit did. He had such a spirit to live, but yet his body, he was paralyzed, and unfortunately the last 5 years of his life was in his deathbed, really. And luckily he had my sister, who's his primary caregiver, and I did it sometimes as well here, but he didn't have to be in a nursing home. He was there for a while, but we pulled him out when COVID hit. It was, you know, when he got the stroke and got that, and we're like, we don't want that. Let's take you home. And so luckily he had us around. So I'm going to start with this video, and let's see if I can do this. Can you help me?
Oh, did you already test that?
No, yeah, I already tested. I just need to put the play, and then typically when you go there, there we go. Yeah.
There's an old saying, everyone is born a time billionaire. We all die time bankrupt.
Okay, so
Did you press it?
there you go.
There's an old saying, everyone is born a time billionaire. We all die time bankrupt. Time. It's the great equalizer. I'm Peter Tia. I've had the privilege of speaking with many people at the end of their life. And almost without exception, each person says they would give anything for one more family vacation, one more holiday dinner around the table, one more chance to play with their grandchildren, one more dance with their spouse. The thing is, we actually have a chance at more time, but we can't wait until we're at the end to do anything about it. We can improve our odds and get not just one more year, but maybe 10 more years, good ones too, where you can move, travel, fully engage with life and those you love. No matter how old you are, the time to begin is now. There are no magic elixirs here. This isn't biohacking, just science, expertise, and practical tactics to improve your sleep, nutrition, exercise, and more, to live better now and create the kind of future you want. The best way is to start early, and that's what we're here for. Let's get started.
So, as you guys know, the statistics show that in the United States, people are dying way too soon compared to other, what we call blue zones, where there are areas in this world where people are living, they're called centenarians, over 100 years old. They're living to their potential. I think in the Bible it says we're supposed to be able to live up to 120 years. But the reality, we're lucky if we even make it to, 60. And some people are still, nowadays, even if we're living longer because of a medication, but they're not really quality years that we're living. So what is it that you want? If you would have that health, I mean, what would you be able to do? My dad, unfortunately, lost my mom when she was 56. So they had dreamt of retiring and, you know, doing the traveling thing and doing all those things, but unfortunately she died way too soon. Then he was a caregiver for my sister. We were all her caregivers. She was mentally ill, and then she also had issues. And so, you know, we want our health, but we want to do it for the long haul where our brain is functioning. So we're going to talk a little bit about brain health today too, because some people's brains start to deteriorate way too fast too. So we're seeing more than ever epidemics of Alzheimer's and dementia and all of these kind of neurological diseases like MS and depression. And most people get a what? A drug to hide this symptom, but yet it's not going to add more years to your life. It's actually taking away. And so you can decide how you age. And the thing is to start early, but it's never too late. And so my challenge to you and all of you that made it today is that you just start for the next whatever month, the next 6 months, the next year, or the next 10 years. I don't know what God has for you. Maybe he has another 20 years. I don't know. She's 96. She may live a little longer than 100, you know. But we don't know that deadline. We don't know that. So we just do the best we can and not wait another day. And that's where so many times people don't do anything. And so this is in Greece, 8 more years than the United States, 20% less cancer, 50% fewer heart problems, very few cases of memory loss, like when you go to Greece. And the biggest thing is they eat green food, which have a lot of antioxidants. And when I went to Europe, typically a lot of people are walking. We have in Sardinia, Italia, 20% less cancer, 50% fewer heart problems. Again, no cases of memory loss. They eat green food, they walk at least 3 miles a day, and they put family first. If you know Italians, it's all about family. Yeah, Hispanics are very similar. We're very family oriented. Okinawa, Japan. We've had several Okinawans that are patients of ours that are 95 years old. So it's just one of those things that they're just active. And one of those things when I went to Japan in Tokyo for the Olympics, we went to this small community that they acclimated, and I remember this little city, it was just full of all these older people that were still tending their garden and doing all the things that you typically don't see older people do. And it was so beautiful to see the elderly outside all the time, and it was beautiful. They consume turmeric. So what's in your salad if you had the healing? How many of you like the healing dressing we made? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's so simple, right? And you're adding real, like it's not like in a bottle, you're making it real. So you see that zingy, that zesty taste. That was from the garlic and the active enzymes that you're having that are breaking down the meat too. So you have that zing from the garlic as well. So the more these real foods you add live, not from powders. You know, sometimes people say, I have a capsule of turmeric. Well, we have that as an addition. But if you eat the real deal daily, that's going to be so much better for you. And they consume vegetables. So again, it's all about being active, your mindset. And I'm not going to do too much about mindset, but most of the time when you see these centenarians or people, they're active. And so they basically have some kind of a social activity that they love to do, whether it be a Bible fellowship or a group. Some of you came with a friend. I don't know where you met your friend or who pulled you in here, but you have a community that are there. So like whenever you are like struggling, they bring you meals and they take care of you. And that's kind of rare nowadays. Where you get people to take care of each other. And it's sad when people are lonely. So if you don't have people, I know that sometimes I have my older generation that love to come, and then they just sit down and they'll be here for like a couple of hours. But I know that they're here because, unfortunately, they don't have a community. So they love it here because they feel like they're associated with a community. And so please don't feel bad and make yourself at home and stay with us. Have a cup of tea or something. but yeah, you have to have a community and relationships. Laughter, of course, is one of the biggest things that we see with Okinawans, that there's always something after dinner where they're playing board games or they're doing some kind of social fun game. And so that's where, you know, the more you move, the more you interact, the more you are active, and you get involved. Some kind of, you know, volunteer group. And I think that it's not only for the elderly, it's for everybody. We should be involved with some kind of volunteer group that gets us out there and help others. And I think that keeps you youthful as well. So one more video, George. How do I get out of here?
Or do you just need to go back into the? Do we just need to go back into the presentation?
Go ahead.
Oh, we're watching a video. Oh, is this another video?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Right here. Okay.
I want to talk about a graphical way that we can represent longevity. And the way that we can do it most easily is to consider the two age-dependent drivers of health span, cognition and physical performance, on the vertical axis here, while considering lifespan on the horizontal axis here. So let's start by turning our attention to the white line. The white line represents what happens without much of an intervention as a person ages. So a person is born here at time 0. And if you follow the trajectory of their graph, what's happening is as it's moving to the right, you're gaining chronologic years. And as it's coming down, the quality of your life is declining, such that when the line crosses the horizontal axis, a person is literally dead. The blue line represents what I believe the best medicine has to offer, which is to say, initially it really follows the same curve as the white line. But just as you're about to near the end of life, it comes in and manages to delay death by some period of time. Using amazing and heroic tools of medicine, it manages to postpone death by potentially a few years or more, but often without any improvement in the quality of life. Finally, I'd like you to imagine the red line. The red line, you can see, increases the length of life, though not logarithmically. It certainly isn't a science fiction extension of life. What most stands out in the red line is the way in which it reduces the decline of health span and compresses the period of decline. One way that I like to think about this is to ask the question, how much of a person's life is spent below about the 50th percentile quality of life? So if you think about this being 100% of the quality of life, and this being about 50%, a very important metric to me is how big this gap is. That's the period of time that a person spends beneath about that 50% window in which their quality of life is really reduced. the red one is where we want to be. Not just because you're living longer, but because you're spending a far narrower fraction of your life in the final stages of decline. This is what it means to square the longevity curve. In an ideal world, that red curve would be a straight line here that would drop vertically and instantaneously at the end of a person's life. Your curve is not set in stone. This is a malleable process. Now, it's not going to be malleable based on one pill, one magic workout, one fruit smoothie shake, or any such elixir. It's going to come down to a lot of hard work, a lot of understanding, a lot of sacrifice, and a lot of strategy. And while such a longevity curve represents a theoretical aspiration that can probably never be attained, it serves as a model for what we can aspire to.
Yeah, like I said, we don't know. God determines our time, but we all have the ability to just live it abundantly the way he wanted. And a thief comes to lie, steal, and destroy. And unfortunately, the thief here in our country is pharmacia. Even though there's life-saving drugs, like you said, the thank God system. I question sometimes my dad. My mom, my sister kind of like did that white line. My dad did that long life because they kept saving him and saving him and saving him, which thank God we got more years from him, but he was sick, suffering, and dying on a deathbed. So he would always say, when is God going to take me? And even though he loved life till the end, he was very happy, but he also had his desperate moments of desperation and frustration. And so, but if we can do the best we can to be like this lady at 96, where she's here in a class, her daughter brought her, I don't even know if she can hear me. Can you hear me? Yeah? Oh, she's enjoying her food. But see, she seems like she's, that's what we want, where maybe our decline is very short-lived. And so that's our goal today, is just to kind of help you just learn more how to get better. 95% of cancer are caused by poor diets and accumulation of toxins. So I'm going to talk about toxicity real quick, because I think if you guys are going to change one thing, would be number one, mindset, the way you think, but then toxicity. Even beyond food, if we can just get rid of all the toxic items, from products to foods that are man-made. So if you guys know that, the sources now, what not only from the food, but what we breathe and what we have, typically toxins live in our home. So what you can control, you can't control Wi-Fi, or you can't control the water supplies really, but you can control what comes out of your water tap from a filter. You can control that. So I'm not going to give you all the suggestions, but if you can at least control what's in your house, what you buy, and start making some lateral shifts. So instead of like this deodorant, you would go to a more non-toxic one, or we have these classes where we talk about like all these changes, that you would start with that. We did the demonstration of all the food. So you can see, I did the demonstration on your healing dressing that we made. So you can control the quality of fat. So we use, good oil in the Veganase, and we use it in the healing dressing. We use turmeric instead of, So this is where you can change this, like the pudding. I think maybe there's another couple back there, but you guys see, we didn't use like bad stuff. So you just start making these changes. Right now, 168 chemicals per day, perfume, creams, what you put on, slather on yourself, Glades, all this kind of stuff, that it's so like, just common sense to me. But for some people, it's like, what do you mean perfume or makeup? Like, why do I need to change that? Because you're so used to wearing perfume and makeup and all this stuff. It's like, don't, just get rid of that stuff. You know what I mean? If anything, just do very little. But that's where you don't need that stuff. You have essential oils, you have better stuff, and then so just start one thing at a time. Right here it talks about like, the perfume, the lipstick, the eyeshadow, the shampoo, the hairspray, all this kind of stuff that just kind of, you can't live in a bubble either. We're going to be exposed to stuff, but you can minimize or lateral shift the things that you put. And so if I were to go home and start looking at your bathroom products, if most of them have parabens are basically estrogen based, and so they're creating cancer. And so I would go and dump all this out, one thing at a time if you want to, but then start laterally shifting when you go to the store. So ask me if you have questions on what to transfer, and I can give you this great app. It's called Yucca, Yucca. And you can, when you go to the grocery store, you can do the barcode and it'll tell you if this is good, okay, bad, or really bad. And you can start shifting that. So when we do our natural grocery shop with Doc on MainHealthSolutions, you'll see me go through all these kind of things. So we would do shop with Docs before. I haven't done one in a while, but high levels of lead were found in different water systems. So change the water. I don't really recommend these plastic bottles, but that's all we have here. But instead of you depending on us to supply you with water, that's what you should do. Get your stainless steel thing and fill it up from your good water filtration system at home. Put some good minerals, because the filter takes all the minerals out. You have to get them. So I put my element in there, which are minerals, and there you go. Take it with me. But most people come like not even thinking of this stuff. You need water, you especially out right now. So, but if anything, you can start with some binders. We have a detox system that this is not the end all. Like he said, I'm going to take this supplement, I'm going to be detoxed. It's the beginning of getting some of these things out. So we use G-Cell, which actually has glutathione precursors that help your liver build more glutathione, and then we use Bind, which is activated charcoal, to then eliminate some of these toxins. So we use 2 in the morning of this and 2 at night of that. Don't use Bind with any medications at the same time. You have to use it separate. So, but ask George or my team if you have any questions on that. But moving on, what you need to know, you can decide how you age. Again, a lot of this stuff we already talked about. But signs that your brain is in trouble. This is when I start to see the tremors. Okay, that's a neurological tremor. Memory loss, getting lost. Like they're calling my team all the time. Where's your office? What time did you say the class started? Oh, by the way, this class on Facebook said 7, but it was Central Time. I was in Texas when I did this flyer with my dad. So, but anyways, but it was Central Time, so it's basically 6. But anyways, trouble following directions, slowing performance of familiar tasks, misplacing things, poor concentration, short attention span, poor judgment, mood changes, worsening grooming, wrong word choices, word finding problems, social withdrawal, balance and depth perception problems, a lot of times from neuropathy, which, by the way, we have a neuropathy class next month. If you guys want to talk more about balance and proprioception and those falls that we see all the time, that sometimes people start to fall and stumble because they're losing their information from your neurons to your brain and your brain to your body. It depends on that. So that class would be very important for some of you. So could your brain be in trouble if you can't go to the store without a list? My mom would not give my dad a list when she went to the store, and he's like, why don't you make me a list? Because then like that, you don't look at women. You have to think. And you look kind of confused. You look confused, and women won't look at you. Anyways, that was a joke, and that's why she never gave him a list. She would just say, I need this, this, and this, go get it. And there was no note-taking or anything. Anyways, your brain could be in trouble if you pass your exit or turn while driving home. Sometimes, that happens to a lot of people. Your brain can be in trouble if your mind wanders when you read or watch TV all the time, so you lose focus in a conversation. It could be in trouble if you can't remember whether you took your medications and all that. Not that I promote taking medications, but some of you are dependent because, you never did anything for your health, so you have to take them, and it is what it is. But our goal here is to not have to depend on them. But why is my brain not working? So we do functional tests. As a functional medicine practitioner, we want to know the root cause. If you go and take gabapentin or Neurontin for brain issues or all this stuff, it's going to mask some of these symptoms, but it's not getting to why it's happening. Why is your brain deteriorating? So we look at things like heavy metals, or maybe it's your, nutrients like vitamin D, or maybe it's a viral infection, or, it may be parasites. It may be, any vascular disease. So a lot of these are problems that come from root causes, either nutrients or lack of nutrients or deficiencies. So we want to find the holes in the roof and then fix them and get to the root cause. Because I don't know if you guys know, with brain function right now, Pharmacia is making a ton of money on people who have brain issues, but they're not giving people solutions of what to do. And that's where unfortunately, insurance could care less about giving you solutions. They just pay for the drugs too. So this is where people have no hope. So what have you been told about either Alzheimer's or any of these neurological diseases is that there's no cure. You have to donate to this institution because there's no cure, and we just need to do more research. But what are they researching? To make more what? Drugs. So what you need to spend your money on is researching on what to actually solve the issue, and then helping yourself with some of the solutions. So whether you ask questions, start making those changes. So moving on. So what have you been told about Alzheimer's? Is a prognosis myth, no hope, no cure. And so again, the cause, typically you get told, you get amyloid plaques. You guys know what that is? No. It's kind of like I talk about inflammation. My inflammation talk, I tell you, it's like when you have inflammation, your body puts what all the time to try to heal anything with inflammation. If you're working out and you have a blister, what does it put? Calcium. So it's like a callus, right? If it's in your teeth and you have inflammation, you have what? Calcium, which is plaque. If it's in your arteries, you have inflammation, and it forms what? Plaque. If it's in your kidney, you have inflammation, your body puts in there to heal it with plaque, forms a kidney stone or a gallstone. Or in your joints, you get what? Yeah, bone spurs. You guys see this? Arthritis. Which itis is inflammation where your body puts what? Calcium. So you get grinding and all this kind of stuff. So this is where we want to make sure we go look at the true cause. And so one pill is not going to fix all these beautiful things like it reduce your APP or beta cleavage or reduce all these kind of biochemical responses. It's not. It's going to actually give you more problems. I just see so many people, guys, on gabapentin nowadays. Almost everybody is on it. You guys know what gabapentin is? It's basically a nerve drug that they're giving it for dementia, neurological issues, neuropathies, like any diabetic person is on typically gabapentin. And it just saddens me because it creates dementia. And so then I see more people having more issues. So just start looking at these issues. But time to change what we think about Alzheimer's and any neurological disease and start finding out. So like, for instance, overweight. What changes overweight? Exercise. What did you guys eat today that I told you? What are the 3 changes? No what? Sugar. No sugar, no seed oils, no grain. Change the good fats, the bad fats to the good fats, and then have good quality protein sources. Like, that's how simple it is. Was it good?
Oh yeah, it was excellent.
You guys see that? And so I gave you a recipe class today, and you guys saw how to cook this, so there's no excuse. So when we give you these little pamphlets, can I have the pamphlet? So tonight, again, I'm redundant here, and I tell you why we give you this. So the 5-2 is a what kind of a plan? Fasting. So you eat 5 days from 12 to 7, but only advanced plan meals with no sugar and no grain. And then, so you can eat like 4 meals or 5 meals during that time. Like, it's not restricted. It's not a calorie thing. You just eat. But you only eat from 12 to 7. And then the other 2 days that you choose, and you can choose at the very back, there's a meal plan. You can choose if it's Wednesday or Sunday or whatever. And then you fast on what? Bone broth or juice. Green juice that doesn't have sugar. So don't get like a apple juice or orange juice. Like green juice, like green with apple, as a green apple as the only sweetener. So do I have to talk about all that again? But that's going to be your challenge, is that you start doing this. Because if you do this from now, July to, when does it change? Like October, the end of October. So you have August, September, October to really, it takes 3 months to create a new body. You guys know that? 90 to 120 days to replace a new cell. So next in August, we have our weight loss talk. Like if you guys really want to go to the next level. But this is like the beginnings of it. But what we want to do is get you as healthy as we can, because after October, for most of you, it's called what? It's over. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like people go and they do their feasting and partying. And for us, it's the same thing. For my family, like we don't change it. But for most people, it's like they think that they have to go with the world, the patterns of the world. But you have to transform your mind and not have to just, like, it doesn't change for me. You know, but we're people and we're flesh. So if you're going to do that, at least you're prepared. And then come January, you do what again? You do this again, January to March. Because, you know, in April and the summer, you're probably going to cave because you want fruit and all that stuff. You guys see that? So it's kind of like you have these feasting and fasting times. So we're going to be moving into, after the summer is gone, and in end of July, start tasting some of this stuff, so that in August to October, you do the best you can to be on the advanced plan and this stuff. That makes sense? Yeah. But if you have accountability partners that kind of help you, and so if you need more recipes and stuff, get the books or go on Google, look at keto recipes or stuff like that. So anyways, if you do want an actual consult because you have an issue and you want to see what we can maybe do to help you, typically our consultations are about $99 or something like that. We're doing it, if you do want to set one up with my team, it's $49, and it's a functional medicine consult. So it's just to see, maybe some of you have leaky gut, some of you have thyroid issues, some of you have all this stuff that we need to hone in on. Then we can talk about like what it looks like for what specific labs to get, or, you know, then you guys can decide if you want to proceed and get that. If not, then at least we can do some kind of a workup with a muscle testing, because there's lab work and then there's muscle testing. If you guys don't know what muscle testing is, it's like trying to see what maybe you're toxic or have parasites or have deficiencies through muscle testing, which your body tells me what it's deficient or what toxic on. And so I'm not going to answer muscle testing now, but you can text me or call me and we can talk about that. Everyone's treatment plan looks different. Again, most common issues are mold, toxins, infections, problems with sleep. If you're not sleeping, your brain is not what? Resting. Healing. So George is going to come and talk about sleep, because if we're going to talk about longevity, it's about your mindset. It's about removing toxins and all the toxins, including parasites and chemicals and all that. But I think a lot of the difference between our world and the blue zones and Okinawans and all those people living is that they take a siesta, like in Mexico, like you sleep. And we don't typically do enough sleep. So we're going to talk about the importance of sleep. So again, we talk nutrition, healthy fats, intermittent fasting, keto. So I'm not going to do nutrition. I think you guys got it now. Inflammation is caused by sugar. Long-lived cultures eat real food. The standard American diet, this is all redundant. You guys know, I mean, 51% is processed foods, then a lot of sugar. Even the meat, guys, animal products, if they're processed, like hot dogs and all that, they have a lot of sugar and nastiness in there. So don't think, oh, I just eat meat, like protein. It's the quality meat. And so these are redundant slides. Bad fats and good fats. As you guys know, good fats are like coconut oil, avocado oil, real butter, like tallow, real quality, like eggs, free-range eggs. Cholesterol is not bad for you. Cholesterol is actually good for you. Don't get that lie. I have to be on a statin drug. But come to my classes, you know, even healthy fat. If you see the real butters over there, the ants only go to what? The fake stuff, margarine. I can't believe it's not butter because it's plastic. So, all right. So then, of course, there's herbs. People always talk about what herb should I do? There's mushrooms. A lot of mushrooms have what we call beta glucan. So we have a mushroom powder, but add good mushrooms. We have reishi. Can I have that mushroom powder up there? So this is one that has ashwagandha, that one, cordyceps, rhodiola, reishi. I mean, it has all these mushrooms in a powder, and you just put it in your food or in your smoothie. But I love mushrooms for longevity. You know, so some of these are ginkgo, turmeric again. So some of these things are in this. So again, other things to add if you do want supplements, omega-3s, but make sure you're getting the 4-to-1 ratio of 4 omega-3 to 1 omega-6. That's a grass-fed cow, has that good ratio instead of the 20 to 1 ratio, which 20 omega-6s to 1 omega-3. That's why we need more omega-3 because we eat too much grain-fed meat. Turmeric again, resveratrol is found in wine. So is wine recommended? I would say, you know, just one glass at night would be a good, but quality wine, because if you're having the nasty stuff, you're again getting toxins that are added to the wine. So you're going to have to get good quality wine. I don't drink wine, so I don't know what to tell you about, like which one. I know that there's a dry wine that doesn't have sugar. What's it called? Dry. I forgot the brand.
Yeah, it's a keto one.
It's a keto one. D-ribose, ubiquinol, lion's mane is another mushroom specifically for the brain. It even looks like a brain. Like, it's weird how God made food to like mimic whatever organ it helps. But lion's mane they have at the Boise Co-op, and it's like this big white mushroom. So establish a value system, teach your kids. My husband was going to do this little bit here, but he's busy in the room. So he's an exercise physiologist, has a special degree on that. But what he said to mention was most of longevity, they did a study where you can smoke, and can you bring him out here so he can talk about this real quick? What was that study, John? That if you smoke, you get 40% increase in mortality. But if you don't exercise,
So yeah, so just as far as like kind of importance, like what most people worry about smoking. You see people smoking, think, okay, that's really unhealthy. They basically found that if you have somebody that's smoking, you're going to have basically a 40% increase in all-cause mortality. Like basically your increase of dying is going to be 40% up. Okay, you take somebody, you know, so that's a big one everybody knows. You take somebody who has less strength than the average person, their likelihood of dying is 250% greater. So basically like 5 times what smoking is. You know, muscle mass, they got like 200%, but strength is 250%. So having muscles great, being strong is better. And then they also looked at people who are like cardiovascular health, that kind of stuff. So those are kind of like two aspects of fitness. You got your cardio side, heart, lungs, those kind of things. Of course, there's a lot more to it. And then the kind of resistance training, strength training, those kind of things. When it came to cardio, if you're in that lowest level of it, you are trying to know if this is 200% more likely to die than just being in the next higher level. So even just being a little bit better shape helps you dramatically. And then, but if compared to the lowest level compared to the highest level, which would be like kind of an elite athlete for just that age group, 500% difference. So again, out of all the stuff you're going to spend time on those kind of things, a little bit on exercise is great. Some people think it's got to be hours, and technically, if you want to get the maximum benefit, it should be hours.
And that's shown with most of these countries. Blue zones are called. It's not the food. I mean, it's some of the food, but they're active. Like you get people who are working hard, that they're fishing for their own food. So they're active. They're out there, not sedentary on a recliner. They're moving. So that's where, if I were to suggest anything, is like start. Thank you, John. Start moving. Start not only like walking, but start carrying your own weight. Because most people can't carry their own weight. Like if you were going to have to climb out of a house, would you be able to carry yourself out? You know what I mean? So at least help. If they throw a rag on you to pull yourself up, they're going to help you, but you also kind of have to do that. So where do you start if you've never done this? So you start one day at a time with one thing at a time. So I say get a resistance band and start doing like, I don't know, lateral pulls like this, but you're working on your back. You know what I mean? But if you lose weight, guess what? That's not a lot of weight you have to pull up. So it does, so walking and all that, but like doing squats. I think there was another study, the stronger your legs are, so squats are really good. Most people can't even sit on the toilet as they get older because they don't have leg strength or their knees are bad. So start somewhere, and I think that's where people just don't know what to do. Ask. I can modify things for you. To say, hey, I want to do this. What, like she said, the 96-year-old, she goes, what do I do for balance? Can you show me? Guess what I'm going to do after the class? I'm going to show her a balance exercise. One of the biggest things with exercise is that people just don't have the balance for it. So I would suggest that's right why your brain slows down. If your balance slows down, your brain is fed by your neurons. So everybody stand up. We'll do a little test here. So just grab onto somebody or something if you're going to fall. But go ahead and just stand on your right leg without holding on to anybody. You're supposed to be able to do this for at least 10 seconds. Pretty good. Yay. All right, now the left one. You guys are rock stars. So start like activating it. So guess what I do? You can sit down. So when I brush my teeth, you guys know how you have the head weights on you? So I put the head weights on, and then I just kind of like brush my teeth with my head weights. I'm killing two birds with one stone. Yeah. And then I'll do the other one, and then, you know what I mean? And so there, my head weights stay on there, and then I go do my other thing. But that's where it's like, that's why we have you like with a head weight and walk like this kind of crazy people here. You know, but we're increasing balance, proprioception, and then we have you stand on that little thing and vibration. It's all to increase what? Proprioception, balance to your brain. The more you feed the brain, the better it becomes fired. So it's basically you get cerebral input. So that's where there's so much just on brain health by activity. Short periods that increases the amount of energy. So we call this Tabata. So you do 20 seconds on, 20 seconds off. So if you are going to just go walk, then walk as fast as you can for how long? 20 seconds. And then just slow down for 20 seconds. And you just do that for 6 minutes. So 6 minutes out, 6 minutes back. And that's 12 minutes total. That makes sense?
Yeah.
So who doesn't have 12 minutes? It's just, I would do it early in the day before it gets too scorching hot. Or if you have a treadmill or something like that. If you can't do the treadmill, then just do something like a really fast movement. It could be a jumping jack, but just get your legs moving and then just, just march in place a little bit for 20 seconds, then get to it. If you can, actually do a jumping jack, whatever, but how long? 20 seconds on, and then you stop and you do just walk in place for how long?
20 seconds.
And so you do that for 6 minutes, and that's it. So 6 to 12 minutes is all you need. I know it seems like, oh, that's too little. If you haven't done anything, that's a lot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now, for somebody who's an elite athlete, then I would have them wear a vest weight, and then sprint. You know what I mean? And then do like box jumps, and then rest. You know what I mean? But then, so there's variations on how to do all this. It's just, you could do it with running, with swimming, with elliptical, or even just at home in front of your TV. So we have a thing called Max T3 that, if you are interested, just talk to my team and they can send you a little video of how to do this stuff. So chiropractic, some of you are chiropractic patients, some of you are not, whether it's with me or with another chiropractor. Most people don't understand the importance of the nervous system, and the nervous system carries that life God-given potential that He gave you that animates you until the day you die. So you cut the nerve that goes to the heart, what happens? Kaput, right? So your heart doesn't pump unless your brain tells it to. So that's where, if you have nerve pressure to your spine, it's going to affect the way you function. So you take postures that are now going forward as we age, right? It collapses because those vertebrae are so osteoporotic, there's not enough frame, and so it collapses. So you have these kyphotic postures. And you guys see this all the time, right? But now, what is her breathing potential? Go ahead and put your head forward, and now try to take a deep breath. Ready, set, go. Were you guys able?
It's harder.
Right? Now stand straight and put that head back. Take a deep breath. All right, now everybody stand up. Now we'll have you go head forward postures like the cell phone posture. All right, so now take your both shoulders and go forward as much as you can, all the way up above your head. Now, can you go all the way up, or then come back down? And now stand up straight. And now,
Yeah.
you guys see? So the more you lose that posture, you're losing the function of your body. So not only your nervous system, but the way your heart, your lungs function. And so you can sit down. But you guys see how posture determines the integrity of your nervous system. So we have to make sure that we're taking care of this dowager's hump. Now, somebody who has a vertebra that's collapsed, sometimes you need some kind of posture corrector, and they sell these online, whatever. I'm not here to sell you a gadget, but you basically strap it up, and then you can get them to be a little bit more upright. All right, but most of the thing, these are a little bit uncomfortable. It's like wearing a bra.
Backwards.
I don't recommend. God gave you muscles to hold you upright. They're called involuntary muscles because they're not like, oh, sit up straight like your grandma would tell you. These muscles should be fired by activity, and the most important activity to fire those muscles are balance exercises, like what we call cross crawl exercises. Like when you walk, you fire those. So right now I'm going to show her a balance exercise would be a cross crawl exercise. But I was wondering what was happening outside. Sorry. Hey guys. All right. So every time your the head goes forward, it weighs more because it's like a bowling ball. If you're carrying a bowling ball on a stick, it's not going to be that heavy. But as the head goes forward, what happens to your wrist? it's more weight, so those joints start to really deteriorate. So make sure that if you're going to a chiropractor, that they're also working to show you what to do. So where we're different here is, what do? We give you the head weights, we give you the traction, we give you the foam, but do you do it? That's why we do these classes, to remind you, make sure you're doing your exercises. And like you brush your teeth every day, would you ever stop doing your home exercises that we teach you here? Hopefully not. It's for the rest of your life. You would never want to stop reading your Bible. You would want to make sure you do that. So lots of longevity on head forward postures, basically study after study about how being in this posture decreases and shortens your lifespan. The vagal nerve, if you guys don't know, the vagal nerve is the first bone that exits your top of your back of your skull. So when you're forward, that vagal nerve innervates all your organs, so it's shutting down your organs and function. So that's where we want to make sure you guys get that posture back. And so when you have headaches and all these kind of symptoms, insomnia that we get with neurological issues, sleep apnea, try to take a deep breath again. Oh yeah, I told you that. But you guys know, whenever they do CPR, what's the first thing they do? Yeah. So right now, George is going to talk about also sleeping, how people have sleep apnea because they don't have that. So go ahead, George.
All right. Yeah, if you want to take a picture of this, you can. But yeah, so what we want to do is optimize our sleep because it helps us get more rest, restore a lot of function, and also help with long-term memory. So we do have. Did you guys not get a picture of that? Okay. So before going to bed, you want to start with like some kind of routine. So being able to unplug. You want to have like an environment that's where it's completely dark. Any kind of light will affect your sleep. So also you have to think about your skin. It's also it's sensitive to any kind of light. And then waking up in the mornings, especially like if you have a lot of things that you're thinking about right before going to bed, that can disrupt your sleep. So having a journal, writing some notes down so you can get a lot of that stuff out onto paper. Eliminate the caffeine, even alcohol. All that stuff can interrupt your quality of sleep. And so sugar, exercising daily can really be helpful. Even like taking like a sauna, like the extreme temperature and change can really help allow your body to cool down after you've done like the spike of heat. And then magnesium glycinate, we recommend this a lot. Not a lot of people get enough minerals, but that is like a natural muscle relaxer. It really helps you just kind of like relax the tissues, and then and get adjusted. So like Dr. Rosie mentioned, how your breathing is impacted by that spine. If you have that head forward posture, getting that adjustment can really open up the respiratory system, so you can get better oxygen flow. So we do the pillow wise. We measure that. So if you're a side sleeper and you probably don't have the right support, that can be we want to think about your ergonomics and optimizing your sleep so you can get a good airway, and with any kind of shift in your spine can definitely disrupt like your airway pathway. And then so poor sleep can impact directly like cardiovascular health, metabolic health, impact your cognitive health, and increase dementia. So there's a lot of studies showing that. But when we talk about sleep, you're unconscious. You have no voluntary muscle movement, but that time it should be fully at rest. So talking about a little bit of what sleep does, it helps restore and repair. It helps your brain function, energy, to also help detox, and then immune function. So this is just another product that, think about like your environment. So if you are using a mattress that's toxic, you're just inhaling a lot of those toxic elements. So getting an organic mattress can be really helpful. The PillowWise is actually third-party tested, so for it not being have a lot of these toxic elements. And then
Tempur-Pedic mattresses are synthetic by the way you're breathing all these toxins. So you want to get a good organic mattress. People always ask me which ones. I don't care. Just get a good organic brand and firm. I'm not here to sell you a mattress.
Yeah.
Invest in good quality. Yeah.
Talking a little bit about sleep cycles. So there's the non-rapid eye movement, and then there's the rapid eye movement called REM. And I don't know if you've heard of the REM sleep, but our body goes through different stages. So there's light, moderate, and deep sleep. Now, halfway through your sleep cycle, you do most of your rapid eye movement. So if you think like, okay, maybe I'll get 7 or maybe 6 hours of sleep and don't get your full 7 to 9 hours, you're probably cutting half of your rapid eye movement sleep cycle. And so that's where you're gonna wake up groggy, fatigued, because you didn't allow your body to go through that full cycle of rapid eye movement. And that's where you get those vivid dreams, and so you probably experience that if like, okay, I cut my sleep a little shorter, and then you're just not, you're just tired. So, and then another, we're going to probably talk about, there's a couple tools out there that you can kind of figure out how you're sleeping. So like the Aura Ring, I think Dr. Rosie, you use it as well.
I'm not wearing mine today, but an Aura Ring would be one.
So, and there's also a company called Whoop, and it's a bracelet, and it's a subscription base, but that one also records all your sleep. And then you can use those metrics to kind of figure out how can I make some adjustments so I can optimize my sleep patterns. And so typically for adults, you want to sleep about 7 to 9 hours. And I don't know how many of you actually get those 7 to 9 hours of sleep. Probably not. And this is something I struggle with because I do work another job. I have a photography business, and then so I sometimes sleep during the day and nights. But it's just one of those things that I have to find some other strategies in order for me to get adequate sleep. And so stable.
One recommendation he didn't put up there, guys, turn off your Wi-Fi. I don't like those phones.
Yeah, the Bluetooth devices.
I don't believe in like these AirPods. I don't like, even the Aura Ring, I take it off because I don't want any EMFs on me. I'm type 1 diabetic, so I have to use a little scanner. But basically, I don't use the one that's on my phone. Like, I scan it when I want it, Like, I'm very anti-Wi-Fi. And that's where, if you can, like, get rid of this 5G stuff in your house, or put an aluminum hat on. Just try to do the best you can. Yeah, so your sleep environment. Wi-Fi, turning it off is a good option just to get rid of a lot of the EMF. Getting your phone out of the bedroom or putting it on airplane mode. A lot of times these devices are just constantly connecting to a cell tower, and you're getting all this information coming in. And sometimes when you wake up, as soon as you already have like a long list of notifications where it's emails, text messages, your apps are all, updating. But it's something simple. Put it on airplane mode. Put it out maybe outside of your bedroom. But also looking at like, okay, do I have a TV in there? Do I have other electronic devices? So I put houseplant, but having like a plant like this can help with cleaning up the air. That's
so you have clean oxygen.
Yeah.
Yeah, and those plants.
If I could open windows in here, I would, but please don't open. Yeah, just open your windows.
Just going back to diet, but yeah, you don't want to be eating so late at the night, just because it's just gonna at least maybe 2 hours before going to bed. So sometimes you want to go snack, but it's just our culture that we have food available 24 hours a day, and it's just one of those things that getting rid of some of these habits. And then so some other options out there. So for sleep, I don't know if you guys have seen some of these blue light blocking glasses. These are completely red. There's other ones that have like an orange tint, but the goal is to get rid of a lot of this blue light. So during the day, it's blue. There's a color spectrum. The daylight is going to be a lot more blue. So wearing some glasses can help filter out that blue light. And so even thinking about like the lights that you're using inside your home, so maybe you have daylight white balance light bulbs. So getting a warmer tone light bulbs is going to be better. Or if you have in your bedroom, you might put like a red light bulb so you don't get any of that blue spectrum of light. So even your cell phone, if you have to go on the computer, so wearing the blue light blocking, or even on changing the setting on your phone, you can change it so it blocks a lot of that blue light, because that's just going to interrupt your body's going to think that, oh, it's daytime, instead of thinking like, okay, it's nighttime. And especially if you look at how the sun comes down, you see that nice golden hour. We should be able to see like more of this warm tone lighting. Okay, and then I don't know.
Watching sunsets and sunrises are good for you.
Good,
too.
yeah. And then mouth taping. So if you have sleep apnea, or you're a mouth breather, people that snore. So this is something that would be beneficial.
Guys, my husband just used duct tape.
Duct tape, yeah.
Really?
Right, John?
Oh, it did. So you can get medical tape, but you just have to put a couple of them. But this brand is called Hostage. And it's a clever name for this brand, but the fabric is a little bit more breathable, so it stretches. So if you're afraid that breathing through you won't be able to breathe through your mouth, this is a good option, because it still stretches and you can still breathe through it, but at least it's going to keep your mouth closed. You shouldn't be sleeping with your mouth open, because then you're going to lose a lot of nitric oxide, a lot of oxygen, and you're not going to get enough oxygen to the brain. But if you want to scan that sends you directly to that link. Okay, and the other thing would be even doing nose strips that will open up the nasal pathway, so you can breathe a little bit better too. So those are two options that are really helpful. But then also looking at your pillow, if you have that head forward posture and you have that pillow is too thick and it's pushing your head forward, well, that you guys already tried how breathing that way, and you're just not gonna get good oxygen coming through. So, but yeah. And yeah, so that's
All right, so
all on sleep there.
before we wrap this up, I have several gifts we're going to give. I have about a person I want to highlight. So Larry, come up here, because Larry comes from the men, I believe, every week. Shows up before we're even open. And anyways, he's how old?
84.
84.
Wow.
But how much weight have you lost?
62.
Wow. Since he first started, guys. And
I'm having trouble with my neighbor. She said, "My goodness, why don't you get some clothes that fit you?" So I finally did.
You're looking.
14 or 32.
Wow.
And I was at 38 or 42.
so it's never too late. It's never too late to
That's
try
impressive.
The other person I want to have speak about her conference. So she is, you want to go ahead and stand up, Cynthia? She is, I'm going to let you say what that title is. So go ahead.
So I'm an art therapist, which is a mental health counselor where we use art materials to work with the subconscious to be able to then process through the stuff that is lower level layers of work that our conscious forebrain and frontal lobe kind of doesn't let us look at on a regular basis. It's the stuff that gets processed when we're sleeping, if we're sleeping well. But so I'm doing a retreat, a peace of mind retreat. And so if anybody's interested in it, it's July 26th through the 29th. It's 3 nights in a cabin. I would be there doing all three days doing art therapy with you. And all the meals are completely provided. They are meals like what Dr. Rosie fixed you here tonight. So they're all healthy, organic, good quality, fresh meals. So you get to go and you just be there. Nobody has to make you cook. You don't have to clean. You just go and you be and you get to process and be present with yourself. And we're out in nature too. So we're going to make sure we get the sunlight, move around as best we can, do different things like that. So if
We
anybody's
work with a lot of
interested-
mentally impaired people with using art therapy, but it's not only for that. It's basically with anybody
Anyone.
that wants to calm that other side of our brain that we need to just, like art is one of those things that are, if you listen to music or art, that'd be very good. Upcoming events, I'm going to pass around. Have you guys started passing that around?
Oh, yeah.
From the raffle.
Mm.
The events for next month will be the neuropathy class, so if you guys are interested in coming to that, sign up for
If you
that.
want to
And then
sign
the
up
weight
for
loss in
reversing,
August, if you guys want to come again, these are free workshops like tonight. We typically provide food like we always do. And you can sign up for those on the board.
I don't know if you wanted to come for the weight loss. You can put your name if you want to come to that.
And if you have any questions, I'm here. I'm going to teach this young lady how to do a balance exercise. If you guys want to watch.
Thank you.
You ready?
Thank you, Rosie.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
There's a couple more people. There's a
Did,
couple more people.
did everyone fill out the raffle? Yeah, everyone has it in here? They
Does
turned
she
it in?
have a
Okay.
walker? Yes.
So in these gifts, I put some of the mouth taping and the nasal strips in there, and so there's some bone broth as well.
All right. So are you able to get
George, how much are the mushrooms? The can of mushrooms?
I'm not sure. I think it might be 40, but this has like all the medicinal mushrooms all in one. One scoop.
So you drink that? Put it in water?
Yeah, so you can do it in like a hot liquid, or some people like to put it like in a coffee. Yeah, yeah. Or smoothie. But yeah, mushrooms are so beneficial for gut, sleep, immune function. I always take like some capsules of this right before I'm flying somewhere, because then you're exposed to a lot of environmental. Yeah. And then, all right, so I'm gonna start drawing here. So yeah, my community mushrooms, like there's a brand, you can find it at Fred Meyer, and it's already in a capsule form. Yeah. Okay. So Amy Johnson. Johnson. Oh, so you won one of these? Yeah. All right. And the next one. So a little gift for you. And the next person, Michael Wilson.
Wilson or Wuso?
Wilson.
Oh.
Wilson. Husband. All right. There's that. And we got two more. And Jackie Castillo. And I think Jackie's in the very back. And then last one. And Sam. Yeah. 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 Yeah, so. All right. And then we're still passing the sign-up sheets. And then I think Dr. Rosie's.
When you walk, you do opposite arm and opposite leg, like when you're marching. So you're marching like
Oh, and if someone didn't get a copy of this, there's a sign up. If you didn't get a copy of this, there's a sign up sheet so you can put your name and email, and I can send you a PDF copy of this too.
Thank you.
I think it's back there somewhere, but yeah.
And the video of that part and this part will be on.
Yeah. So the video recording for the class will be on Dr. Rosie's YouTube channel, which is under MainHealthSolutions.
MainHealthSolutions. Okay.
Yep. Um,
When will that be put up, you think?
Probably in the next couple of days.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll try to get out pretty soon.
Great.
Okay.
Then my wife and daughter should watch also.
And then when we have a class like this, you guys get 15% off any supplements. If you're interested in buying Dr. Rosie's Meta Keto book or any other supplement, you get 15% off.
Thank you.
Yeah, we have copies up here in the front if you'd like to purchase. I'm not sure if Dr. Rosie was going to come out and do a demo, but yeah. Oh, yeah, if you needed a PDF copy of it, we have the sign-up sheet for it, too. Yeah, let me look for it.
Yes.
I just looked at it. I haven't penciled for the 26th, but I would like to know. Yeah, the next day. What's the next keto?
It's 13 regularly. Yeah, yeah. Consult, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's a patient.
Maybe that.
I thought we had run out. We have some extra. All right. So,
Just get that one. Did she have time for that? She has me at 11.
and then it comes out to 11:05. There you go. Say it in, yeah. Sometimes.
Oh, that one doesn't have that. Okay, sorry.
Oh, ya no, es old. Necesita cambiarlo.